What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This one's kind of a bittersweet video to make. This is kind of a video I never thought I would ever make, never even dreamt of it. It's a little hard to swallow, so before we get any of this started, I'm going to say, even though this channel is not very big, keep the bullshit comments to yourself. I assure you, I'll delete them quickly. And even though the channel is small, those of you that do watch it, thank you for your support. And all of you know how well I take care of my equipment. I don't half-ass it. I don't do any of that. I take really good care of it, and I go the extra mile to take care of it. And unfortunately, this is a little bit of a tragic end. Everybody's okay. Everybody that technically wasn't involved is all right. As you guys remember, my blue truck, my donor LB7, my second chance Silverado, as I called it. The smaller goal of that truck was to keep Miss Lola here out of the snow, and as you can see, she's out, and it's snowing. Not good. That was like 10% of why we had that truck. The other 90% of that truck was to be a donor for my 94 GMC Duramax swap truck. We were going to use the chassis, the engine and transmission, and transfer case were all cores for something that I have coming up into the future. I haven't mentioned that part to you guys yet just because we haven't gotten there. We haven't gotten there, but we will. So, you know, the chassis made it a lot easier. The 800 platform is easier to use than the 400 platform because obviously I don't have to make custom mounts, anything like that, or try to use the old chassis back there. The other custom mounts that we had already done previously. But now to the meat and potatoes. Don't let this happen to you. This could have been avoided. It's nothing that I did, but it's something that I should have done. Every time we get a new diesel truck, Lola, Sally, which I just did it to Sally. I just broke her block heater cord because it was starting to give us fits. Lola's block heater cord started giving me fits too, so I quit using it. Unfortunately for us, this one gave me a small fit. I have my cord that comes out of the barn. That's my trusty 100-footer. I've been using that thing for years. Haven't had any issues with it. A couple weeks ago, I noticed that in the morning when I unplugged this thing, when I started it up, the cord was a little hot. So immediately that got my attention. Now I came home and I immediately plugged the truck back in. Immediately, because I was doing some work out here in the yard. And every season, mark my freaking words, this is why I'm so pissed. I always test these damn things. I'm always, I test them in like 40, 50 degree weather. Closer to 40 generally. But I always test it throughout the day. I'm always outside with it. And I'm so freaking adamant. Because if something like this does happen, I want to catch it. Because let me tell you, this is devastating. This is devastating. You see this on the internet, you know, or you see it happen to somebody you know, and I'm telling you right now, until it happens to you, you have no idea the tragedy that it is. Now, granted, yes, I got a great deal on this truck. Not the point. Because I just lost out on transportation. I lost out on the car seats that were in it. I almost lost out on the tools that were in it. I did lose out on my AutoCal and some of the other attachments for my EFI Live. So I'm out probably $800 there, if not more. I lost out on my kids' car seats. Those aren't cheap. I don't care who you are. Any of you that have kids know exactly what I'm talking about. I lost out on my wallet, my identification, my credit cards, my bank cards, My badges for work. We did get my keys back. I did manage to find those in the wreckage. But now this is all these extra steps that I got to go through. Now, not the important part, because this happened. My neighbor woke me up at about 3:30 in the morning, banging on the door. Now, it's not what's important here. Let's look at what is important here. Okay, so we had the Camry was sitting right here. I jumped up, got out of bed when I noticed that the truck was on fire. Or when it was brought to my attention, I got the car out. We ripped her to the end of the road. Okay, I have the wife's comment sitting here. And if you followed my Instagram, man, we are knocking shit out on this. You can see the soot on my barn. Now look, that's how close that I am. Okay, this tree is dead. This has been dead for a while. My neighbor's bedroom is right here. Their fence is right here. This is an older fence. Let's stand back for a minute. This could have ended so much worse. And it wouldn't have just been the tragedy of losing my truck or losing my donor. It could have been losing my barn, everything inside of it. My wife's other truck, the Cummins sitting there, it could have hit my house. It could have taken this tree, could have wiped out their fence, could have hit their house. It could have taken everything. So we dodged a bullet. But check your equipment. Don't let this happen to you. But anyway, back to what I was saying earlier. I was out here and I checked that block heater, and I had it plugged in for a good 4 hours. So it cycled multiple times. So it was stone cold. I mean, not stone cold. It was a little bit warm. You know, there was activity. You could tell. Even I have Merchant's 1,000-watt heater in this and cord, and she gets. You can tell there's activity. Not a big deal, right? Okay. Well, come to find out, I have the heater in the barn running off of that same outlet, and I had the truck plugged in at the same time. So I tested that theory, and sure enough, that's when it got hot. So I quit doing that. If the heater was running, the truck wasn't plugged in, I actually unplugged the black heater cord from the wall. So, problem solved, right? Not quite. Apparently something went astray in here. I know it was a black heater. And now we're left with this. What I am fascinated with, everything's melted. I mean, it's through the valve covers. It's all junk. It destroyed the wheels. The amount of pulled up aluminum that's under there. But the truck's still solid. The chassis is still square. The rear end is still good. The drive shafts are still good. I have gotten underneath this. The transmission looks great. So I'll at least have my core, but I could still use my chassis. So that means we will be on the hunt for another donor truck. I don't know how soon. But I can still salvage this truck. Now, the whole reason for driving the truck in the wintertime was I didn't really care if something happened to it. If it got, backed into, if it slid off the road, if I crashed it. I mean, the only thing I'd care about is my children's safety if they were in it. But I never expected fire. Fire was the only thing that I didn't pay any never mind to. And unfortunately, that's what caught up to me. So, I know I've done nothing but ramble this entire video, and I apologize for that, but this is very, very serious. Don't let this happen to you. Let what happened to me open your eyes. Don't let this be your truck. Don't let this be your belongings. And don't let this be a possible disaster for, things that are around you. Don't let this happen. But we are going to actually, with death comes new life. I don't know what you believe in, but that's what I believe in. So we are going to kick our Project Duramax swap in the ass. and we are going to rip the body off of this. We're going to salvage the stacks for Luke. Those are his, which, I mean, those things are so freaking thick. Those weren't even affected. Throw a coat of Rust-Oleum on there, you'd be alright. But we're going to rip the body off of it, because we weren't going to use that anyway. And I think we're going to start moving forward with the project. Our good buddy Bogema is coming out here later today, and he actually owns the 6.5 that's back there. I'll catch you guys up on that. But we're going to put this thing up on some rollers in the front and see if we can't get it off the ground and able to move it and slide the drive shaft out of it, because obviously putting it in neutral is not going to happen. And we're just going to get started with it. Now, I felt the need to show you guys this because in my life, well, my trucks, this is an automotive vlog, I'm not going to hide anything from you. You know, the family stuff maybe, you know, because that's none of your business, and nobody's family is perfect. But I can tell you right now, with the stuff that we're going through with our family, this is not what we needed right now. But this is real life. This shit happens. It doesn't just happen to, you know, people who do hack jobs. It doesn't just happen to people that, you know better. It happens to the unsuspecting person, you know, myself. I had planned on changing that block heater cord, but it wasn't something that was melting anything or getting super, super hot. It only got super hot when I thought the heater was running, because conveniently that's when it did it. But don't let this happen to you. The moral of the story is don't let this happen to you. This is not okay. This is not cool. I don't wish this upon my worst enemy. So I have another Cummins inside that we're finishing the VP44 up. We're doing a hot rod pump and an edge comp box. And then we're going to throw this beautiful lady in. We're going to put her inner fender wells back in, get the grill cover on, because unfortunately she's got to step up to the plate now. And I guess now that she's not hiding for the winter anymore, I can give you guys a review on these 2015 style mirrors. But again, we're going to move forward. I am not going to let this thing go in vain. I can't do it. I've got too much of a heart. I actually created one hell of a relationship with this truck. I absolutely loved it. A little part of me was kind of going to have a hard time taking it apart, while the other part of me was saying, dude, she deserves it. She deserves another shot. That's why I kept calling it my second chance Silverado. But that's all that I got for you. I'm actually going to go start heating the barn up. We're going to start on another video, which is that VP44. Guys, be safe. Take care of your equipment. You know, we're into the holidays now. This is the expensive time of year. It's the cold time of year. Just be safe. Take care of yourself. Protect your investments. Don't let this happen to you. I love you guys. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Later.